Hey guys, welcome to You Know Ball. Today we're going to be looking at Luke Easterling's mock draft on Sports Illustrated. This is a blind reaction, so I have not seen these picks. This is after day one of free agency. I'm sure there's probably some day two stuff in here as well. As always, if you don't know ball, want to know ball, be sure to subscribe, leave a like. Let me know in the comments your favorite and least favorite pick from this mock draft. Let's get right into it. So at number 1, we have the Bears taking Caleb Williams. Not much of a surprise here. This is kind of probably going to be set in stone after Caleb Williams' pro day on March 20th, after he gets the medicals to the Bears, and then they will go from there. At number 2, we have the Washington Commanders taking Jaden Daniels. Now, obviously, the quarterback debate for number 2 or 3 is going to be kind of up in the air. I probably am leaning towards Jaden Daniels being the number 2 pick just from his production this last year at LSU. I think there's a little bit more potential in Drake May, but at the same time, I think I'm leaning more Jaden Daniels than I would at this point than with Drake May, just with kind of all the reports that have come out. So, Washington gets their quarterback. It's going to be Drake May or Jaden Daniels here, one of the two. At number 3, we have the New England Patriots taking Drake May. I think this pick makes a lot of sense for them. They have a guy that they could sit and develop behind Jacoby Brissett, who is the vet that they signed. And, you have a 5-year deal with Drake May, and he is very young. He was a sophomore coming out of North Carolina. There's still a lot of work to be done, but if you give him a year to develop, he could possibly be your franchise guy, and picking in the top 3 is extremely rare, so you don't want to pass up on a chance to get a guy that can be a face of your franchise when next year the quarterback class is just not looking as good. And I know people say that about the classes every year, but we saw what happened in 22 with the Kenny Pickett class. Just not great. So now we have at 4, we have the Arizona Cardinals taking Marvin Harrison Jr. This pick makes a lot of sense for them. They're going to need a number 1 passing option for Kyler Murray, and I don't think they're going to be bringing back Hollywood Brown. Marvin Harrison Jr. can definitely be that wide receiver 1. They should definitely probably try to draft another wide receiver in the 2nd or 3rd round just to kind of complement that room a little bit more. But Marvin Harrison Jr. to the Arizona Cardinals at 4 kind of seems like a lock at this point. At number 5, we have the Minnesota Vikings trading up with the Los Angeles Chargers, who I think are a prime trade candidate for a team trying to get that 4th quarterback on the board here. And the reason being is Kirk Cousins just walked. You signed Sam Darnold to a 1-year contract, and it's like you're going to be signing Justin Jefferson to a long-term deal. I think he's going to want to know what the plan is at quarterback before he makes that decision, because if he gets coupled with a really bad quarterback, it can really affect his career. And Jefferson obviously wants to get paid, but he also strikes me as a guy who wants to kind of leave a legacy around and be one of the best to ever do it. And you're not going to be doing that with a mid quarterback. So now we have J.J. McCarthy going number 5. I think this is probably the most likely destination outside of the Broncos trading up. But I think the Chargers are going to want to, they got a lot to do today before 3 o'clock to cut probably Bosa, Williams, Keenan, and Mac. I'm not saying they're cutting all of them, but they're going to have to get under the cap. They're about $25 million over. So, trade back, get some draft capital, and kind of revive your team. At number 6, we have the New York Giants taking Malik Nabers. This pick makes a lot of sense to me. You need a dominant weapon on the outside, whether it's Daniel Jones or another quarterback that's going to be coming in soon, and Malik Nabers can be that guy. At number 7, we have the Chicago Bears trading up with Tennessee to take Rome Odunze. If the Bears want to get a receiver, there's a chance they fall to them at 9, but I genuinely do believe that the Titans are either going to trade a little bit back, take a tackle, or take a wide receiver. And I would lean probably taking a wide receiver here, give another weapon to Will Levis, see if he can be the guy. And they're going to send a 3rd round pick to the Titans, which I don't necessarily love because you're already limited in draft picks this draft, and you wouldn't have another pick till like round 4. But, if you're going to get Caleb Williams and then you're going to give him weapons, it's a recipe for success. You just need to find a way to recoup some draft capital. At number 8, we have the Atlanta Falcons taking Dallas Turner. With them signing Darnell Mooney, I think this makes a lot more sense than they would go at receiver. So add a freaky athletic edge in Dallas Turner to the Atlanta Falcons defense. You already have really good weapons on offense. Maybe you need to supplement the wide receiver room a little bit, but overall, Dallas Turner, first defensive player off the board, not a bad pick. At number 9, we have the Tennessee Titans to the Tennessee Titans taking Joe Alt, probably the best tackle on the board here. And you have Alt, Cushenberry, Peter Skoronski, and your whole left side of the line. All you need to focus on is the right side, and I think you actually have a pretty good line. Huge upgrades from what it was last year. At number 10, we have the New York Jets taking Talisa Fuaga. Now this would kind of, I don't know how this is going to work, because so obviously Morgan Moses just got traded to the Jets, so I'm assuming he's going to play right tackle, and you kind of need a left tackle now. So maybe they would think about converting him to, left. Maybe Olu would work a little bit better here. I think Talisa is the better tackle, but with the trade for Moses, it really strikes me as they're probably going to target left tackle. So Olu might be the better option here, but I still think tackle is the way. At number 11, we have the Los Angeles Chargers going Brock Bowers. I think maybe a right tackle here and like a J.C. Latham might be a better option, but you get Brock Bowers, you have him next to Quentin Johnston and then whatever receiver they keep, whether that's Mike Williams or Keenan Allen, and you're building a really good passing attack for Justin Herbert. At number 12, we have the Dallas Cowboys trading up with the Denver Broncos, who, in my opinion, are smart to trade back if they're not going to be able to get a quarterback here, collect some draft assets, and the Cowboys are taking Olu Fashanu, probably one of the best pass protectors in the draft class here, and you're replacing Tyron Smith, who just walked in free agency and who was aging on top of that anyway, so you get a pass protector. They also have to replace the center position because Tyler Biadasz left to the Commanders. At number 13, with the signing of Christian Wilkins, I do actually probably see them taking a corner here. Quinyon Mitchell or Terrion Arnold probably CB1 for me, and Quinyon Mitchell can be that guy for the Las Vegas Raiders. I think he has that Raider mindset that Antonio Pierce is looking for. Very good fit. At number 14, we have the New Orleans Saints taking Amarius Mims. I don't necessarily love this move. I think Amarius Mims has a really high ceiling, but with the issues with Trevor Penning and Ryan Ramczyk, do you really want to take on another guy that has a high potential and, possibly a low floor because of injury history? He's kind of a project, very inexperienced. I love Amarius Mims as a prospect, but I don't know if the Saints are the right fit for him. Tackle, yes. Amarius Mims, I don't know. At number 15, we have the Indianapolis Colts taking Jared Verse. Honestly, I think they could go corner here, but I do really like the addition of Verse. With re-signing Michael Pittman, they re-signed Kenny Moore, I believe. I think adding to that defensive line to get a better pass rush is definitely a good move here, and you get the second edge off the board in Jared Verse. At number 16, we have the Seattle Seahawks taking Troy Fautanu. He can play tackle if needed, but they really need help on the interior, and he can play any position on the interior. So Fautanu is probably the best interior O lineman in the draft, outside of like a Jackson Powers Johnson. I think it makes a lot of sense for the Seattle Seahawks. At number 17, we have the Jacksonville Jaguars taking Terrion Arnold. Honestly, could be CB1, and if he's able to be there at number 17 for the Jacksonville Jaguars, they need to run in that card. Terrion Arnold is super young, can be very good, and they really haven't had that dominant cornerback since Jalen Ramsey left, so it would be a great addition for the Jacksonville Jaguars. At number 18, we have the Cincinnati Bengals taking J.C. Latham, put him on the opposite side of Orlando Brown Jr. Makes a lot of sense for the Bengals to beef up that O-line, especially with Joe Burrow coming off his second season-ending surgery, and you need to protect him with how much that the Bengals pass. Latham is definitely a better pass protector than he is a run blocker. Not that he's a bad run blocker, but you get one of the better right tackles in this draft class, and you're putting him across from Orlando Brown Jr., and you have the bookend tackles for the next couple years. At number 19, we have the Los Angeles Rams taking Latu, putting him on a line with Aaron Donald and Kobe Turner. I really, really like this pick. He is definitely a first-round talent, and to be able to get him here at number 19 is awesome. Great pick for the Rams. At number 20, the Steelers do really need a offensive lineman that plays center, and Jax Powers-Johnson can play any position on the interior, but I think he would be a great addition here for the Pittsburgh Steelers at center because you really solidify that line with Broderick Jones, Jax Powers-Johnson, a lot of young talent. At number 21, we have the Miami Dolphins taking Byron Murphy. Now, I was more on the train of maybe center here, but with Christian Wilkins walking, getting the number 1 interior defensive lineman at 21 is a great pickup for the Miami Dolphins, and I honestly think this is someone that they may be targeting. Byron Murphy may go earlier. I usually had him going to the Raiders, but since they signed Christian Wilkins, they don't really need him. This would be a great replacement for the Miami Dolphins. At number 22, we have the Philadelphia Eagles taking Chop Robinson. You get an explosive edge, and with the way that Philadelphia drafts always going offense or defensive lineman, this makes a lot of sense for them. He has very high upside, and he wouldn't be forced to be the dominant edge rusher in that defense, and it makes a lot of sense for the Philadelphia Eagles to keep retooling their defensive line. At number 23, we have the Houston Texans taking Kool-Aid McKinstry. With all that they have done on the defensive line, adding Danielle Hunter, adding Danico Autry, they might be in on Eric Armstead. Adding Kool-Aid McKinstry to the secondary could be a good pick for them. They do need help in the secondary quite a bit. You could also go wide receiver here, maybe like a Brian Thomas Jr., but I think cornerback room is a little bit more pressing. You have Stingley, and then you have Petrie in the safety, and you have Kool-Aid McKinstry at the other corner. Good pick. You could also go Nate Wiggins possibly. I'm not a big Nate Wiggins guy. I think Kool-Aid McKinstry is okay, but nonetheless, good pick for the Texans here. At number 24, with the Broncos trading back, they take Bo Nix. I think Bo Nix is a really, really good fit for the Denver Broncos offense. I think he would meld really well with Sean Payton in what he wants to do. Nix was really good at Oregon these last 2 years. 45 touchdowns, 4,500 yards, 4,600 yards this year, and and he's also really mobile with his legs. He had 6 touchdowns on the in the rushing game this year and 16 last year. So really good mobile quarterback who can get it done with his arm as well. I don't want to underrate Bo Nix. I think he could be a real option if the Broncos trade back in the first round, or even if they want to come up and get him in the second round. At number 25, we have the Green Bay Packers taking Cooper DeJean. They just signed Xavier McKinney. Darnell Savage left, so I think Cooper DeJean would be great next to Xavier McKinney, and then you could also play him at corner across from, Eric Stokes and Jair Alexander. It would just be a good addition to the Packers DB room. I would take Tyler Nubin here as well if DeJean was gone, but since DeJean is here, I think this is an easy pick. At number 26, we have the Tampa Bay Buccaneers taking Graham Barton. Makes a lot of sense. To beef up, you have your tackles, and then you have Ryan Jensen, who retired. Graham Barton could play any of the spots on the O-line. He played tackle in college at Duke, but this gives the Tampa Bay Buccaneers a very versatile O-lineman that could give them much needed depth and could start right away for them. At number 27, we have the Arizona Cardinals taking Nate Wiggins. Cornerback is definitely a need for them, and Nate Wiggins is very, very talented, very, very fast. The only issue is that he is very small, and we saw what happened to Emmanuel Forbes next year. The issue is he has a lot of potential. So I don't think he falls out of the first round, and if he does, he's going to be an early second round pick. But if he sits here at 27, it's really hard to pass up unless you're going to go tackle, maybe like a Tyler Guyton here. At number 28, we have Brian Thomas Jr. giving Josh Allen another weapon on the outside, 4.33 40, pair him with Stephon Diggs, giving him a weapon that he really hasn't had before. I know that Gabe Davis was a bigger receiver, but I don't think he had the speed that Brian Thomas Jr. has, and this would be a deadly weapon for Buffalo and definitely gives them more firepower to compete with teams like the Chiefs and the Cincinnati Bengals. At number 29, we have the Las Vegas Raiders trading up. I think this is a great trade-up option. They get Michael Penix Jr., that fifth-year option on the rookie deal. You have Devontae Adams. You have Jacoby Myers. You obviously have to beef up that running back room a little bit. You have Michael Mayer. Their O-line isn't horrible. You are putting Michael Penix in a good situation to succeed, and I think that if Michael Penix is the Raiders quarterback, they actually have a chance to probably make the playoffs next year with the loaded AFC. I think he's ready to go. I don't think you need to develop him a ton. I think he is a kind of ready-made quarterback. At number 30, we have the Baltimore Ravens taking Jordan Morgan. Honestly, with Morgan Moses on the move, they restructured Ronnie Staley. They need O-line here. John Simpson is also gone. So they pretty much only have Ronnie Staley and Tyler Lindenbaum because Kevin Zeitler is also a free agent. So they need to fill 3 positions on their O-line. Jordan Morgan can be that guy. He held his own at Arizona, and I think he can fill a spot that the Ravens need. You could also take a guy like Tyler Guyton, who is higher ceiling, but more of a project, and I don't think the Baltimore Ravens want to do that right now. They probably want more of a sure thing in Morgan. At number 31, we have the San Francisco 49ers taking Johnny Newton. Jerzon Newton is a great interior defensive lineman for the San Francisco 49ers. I think probably they should go Guyton because I think they've invested enough, even in this free agency, kind of in their D-line room. Obviously, you want younger prospects in there, and I think value-wise, Newton is probably the best player available here, but O-line, if you have a gaping hole at right tackle, is going to be a lot more obvious than if you didn't take Jerzon Newton here. So at 32, we have the Kansas City Chiefs taking Xavier Worthy. To me, Worthy is not a first-round pick unless he goes to the Chiefs because we knew he was fast at Texas. There's really yes, 4.21 is insane and definitely will probably move him up some draft boards on some teams, but we knew he was fast at Texas. He still has the same issues he had at Texas. Most of his catches are on vertical routes, and most of his success come from straight vertical routes, which makes sense. He's a speedy guy, but he's also small, and if he gets jammed at the line at the NFL level, his route is cooked. I like Worthy. I think I would love to see him in Dallas, maybe in the second round, but makes a lot of sense here for the Kansas City Chiefs. So teams without a first-round pick, we have the Carolina Panthers taking Adonai Mitchell at 33. If Adonai Mitchell is here at 33, I think you need to run in the pick. You need wide receiver help. You just got Deontay Johnson, but if you pair Deontay Johnson with Adonai Mitchell, you have a lot better receiving threat than you did in Bryce Young's rookie year. Then you have Adonai Mitchell, Adam Thielen, and Deontay Johnson. That's not an amazing room, but it's definitely much better than whatever he had first year. And then we have the Carolina Panthers again taking Chris Braswell. So Braswell, he could be a decent player for them. I don't think he's going to be a star in the league. They definitely do need to invest in that D-line. They spent a lot on the O-line. They got the interior guy for their D-line as well, so an edge rusher would make a lot of sense for them. I honestly would not be surprised if they took like a Jatavion Sanders here at tight end, though. At number 54, we have the Cleveland Browns taking Brandon Dorless. In my opinion, Dorless impressed at the Combine, and with the way that the Browns invest in their trenches, Dorless adding to that kind of already loaded D-line would be a great pick for them. So thank you guys so much for watching. This has been Luke Easterling's mock draft post free agency day 1. As always, if you don't know ball and want to know ball, be sure to subscribe, leave a like, let me know in the comments your favorite and least favorite pick from this mock draft. Thank you guys so much for watching. Have a great rest of your day.